Hello, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be watching and discussing Django Unchained. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, and my voice failed during that intro, where it just decided to stop working. Joining me today, it is the Broomhilda to my Django. It is Grant Skillen. And I mean that in the least homo way possible.
I don't know what any of this means, so now I'm scared.
Broomhilda is well, we'll see. For those of you wondering what I'm eating today and why we're recording late, I got
No one
okra and some
cares.
chicken.
Today we're
Nobody gives a shit.
reviewing Django Unchained.
Yes, Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino Western. Tarantino makes good Westerns. He made two of them, I believe. This and The Hateful Eight. For reference, this is an 87-92 split on Rotten Tomatoes. Bold, bloody, stylistically daring, Django Unchained is yet another incendiary masterpiece from Quentin Tarantino. Or, if you're like Grant, it might be a good movie. Maybe. If the story isn't too good. For those of you wondering what I mean, go watch our Pulp Fiction episode, which just finished uploading and should be up like now, actually, because this is coming out next week.
I'd hope it's up by the time this comes out.
It'll be live in a minute. But anyway, without further ado, I guess we better say I've seen the first half of this movie twice. I don't think I've ever seen the back half of it. It's only a 2-hour and 45-minute movie. So if you like short movies, this is one for you.
It's 2:41 when the credits start.
Wow, it's got short credits then because it's 2:45 with credits.
I know. I'm not excited. Not because of the movie, but because I don't want to sit here for 3 hours, but I'm going to.
Yep. Grant loves his job, guys. I'm only holding him hostage. He looks like this. It could be worse. It could be Herman the Lerman. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the movie. Everybody on 0000. You should have 2:45:22 remaining. Everything good, Grant? We go on go.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, 3, 2, 1, go. Actually, try that again because my thing didn't click. Go back.
You're dumb.
No, it just didn't hit. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
You're an idiot.
Thank you for telling us something we already knew, Grant.
That's what I'm here for.
The Weinstein Company. Everyone's favorite Steen company.
Everyone's favorite Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Harvey? Except, like, literally everyone these days. Now, Grant, if you got to that episode of Bonanza today, you would notice that this looks a heck of a lot like...
Totally, yeah. It looks incredibly similar.
The coloring is very Technicolor. And the music is very classic.
Hold on, I need to adjust my audio because I could not hear you there.
Fair enough. Come to think of it, you're a bit quiet for me too. There we go.
Which is more just that being too loud.
Yeah. I love this song. Walton Goggins is one of my favorite actors. He was in Justified. He's just fun. This is rated R for strong graphic violence throughout, a vicious fight, language, and some nudity.
So for everything that could make it rated R?
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
And Jamie Foxx, that's definitely got to be rated R.
Yeah. Exactly.
If anyone is wondering, I mean absolutely nothing by that. I'm just blabbering.
If anybody's wondering what?
If anyone's wondering if I meant anything by that, I'm just blabbering.
Yeah, he always does.
I don't want to get electrocuted. Please tell me you get that reference.
No.
Jamie Foxx in Electrocuted.
Oh yeah, Electro. I'm just stupid. Um, let's see. After working on this film, composer Ennio Morricone said he would probably never again collaborate with Tarantino since he didn't like the way he places music in his films without coherence and never giving enough time. However, Morricone and Tarantino collaborated again on The Hateful Eight, which earned Morricone his first Academy Award.
So in other words, I just heard a bunch of cap.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, Ennio Morricone is an interesting dude. And there's a reason I point out those old westerns because Ennio Morricone died 3 years ago at 91, but he was the composer for Once Upon a Time in the West, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, and For a Few Dollars More, which are all classic westerns in the 60s.
Hmm.
And so he then comes and does this, which is a love letter to those movies, if not a little much. That's one of the things I like the most about Tarantino is that he does these love letters to cinema.
Somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere.
My brain is somewhere other than the movie right now.
Okay. We would just tell the people that, Grant.
I'm just waiting for something to actually happen. I'm a sovereign citizen. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
I do. I just can't believe you haven't laughed at the tooth on top of his wagon.
Too busy thinking of donut operator.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx.
I didn't know he was alive back then.
He certainly was. 1858.
Jamie Foxx already looks crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy? I was crazy once.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
You want to have envy?
That's a Sigmund Freud reference, everyone.
Y'all can figure that out if anyone's here.
Django. No dip.
Not the horse. I think he's in pain.
Maybe.
I'm not quite sure, though.
You never can tell.
I don't know what's even making me think he's in pain, honestly.
Roscoe! Joke.
Django Fett? Is that you?
The Django Fett. I love it if you would keep your whimpering down to a minimum. Whoa. He's looking for that winter coat. Goes over, steps on the horse. Just like British people.
We.
Always playing with that comb. Is that Marlon Wayans? Probably not. Now, wait a minute.
Oh, reasonable. Oh no.
Hey,
He's
Dad.
dead.
I don't know. We didn't like see him lying there dead. He
Okay.
could come back. No, Daltrey, Texas. Now, Daltrey, Texas is somewhere.
Some might say even that it's in Texas.
I'm not sure about that. Daltrey. I think it's Darty. I don't think it's Daltrey. I think I misread that.
Like Darty.
No,
or
it was
something.
Daltrey. It was Daltrey. It's a small unincorporated community in Floyd County, which tells me plenty. It's in North Texas, just below the Panhandle. Of course, I forgot about that. Most people do. Bernie reference, everyone.
She wasn't friendly. She really wasn't. And she probably, there are people in town, honey, that would have shot her for $5.
I love the tooth. The tooth cracks me up. The music is so good. Alas. Now we must steal our liquor.
Obviously.
He's quiet. Okay. As one does.
Mm-hmm.
Django Fett. Jimmy Fox used his own horse in this movie, Cheetah. He got it 4 years prior as a birthday present.
Did you see the Angels hired Ron Washington?
Yes, it did. So Christoph Waltz initially turned down the role when first given the script. He felt it was too tailored to his
Can I
persona.
actually listen to the movie for a second with this scene because they're doing something.
Anyway, he originally turned it down, but he only agreed to do it if his character was to remain pure with no evil whatsoever. And Quentin Tarantino responded, "Of course, mine hair." And at which point he responds, "Mine hair, of course." And they did the movie.
I don't know. He did.
I shot him in the mouth. A scene out of Red Dead Redemption, everybody.
I was watching a Red Dead clip earlier of there's apparently like a feminist character in the game that's advocating for like women's suffrage.
Oof.
And I think it's just generally found annoying by the fan base because it's just anytime you walk by, that's all you can hear.
Yeah.
And someone like hog-tied her, dragged her behind a horse, and fed her to an alligator.
Jeez.
Good old YouTube.
So apparently in the 1840s, a lot of German revolutionaries migrated over here and joined the anti-slavery movement. So this isn't like completely preposterous that this German guy would have been here. So Christoph Waltz won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for this. He's At the time, it was the longest role to ever be given the best supporting actor. He was like 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 17 seconds, I believe. But it was then that title was taken by Mahershala Ali in Green Book at 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 38 seconds. He got beat by 21 seconds.
Oof.
Yeah. I just want to find out who the film nerd is counting the seconds this guy's on screen. Which was a lot of money then. Today, it's like a speaker run.
I don't like sand.
It's rough. Oof. Broomhilda. Yes. Kerry Washington, everyone. See, the cool thing about this movie is it came out in 2012, but it doesn't look like a movie that came out in 2012.
Mm. Almost like he is now.
It's that Robert Downey Jr. quote from Tropic Thunder. I know who I is. I'm a dude dressed as a dude disguised as another dude. They'll break your character. Music is so good in this movie. And every Tarantino movie. Like, I've never seen one where I'm like, I wish they'd done better with the music.
Mm.
Gatlinburg. This is what Gatlinburg looked like before it was like super commercial. I love that Southern accent though. Like that was when it was like top of the line. Yeah. Once again, well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink. It's like the best part of the Southern accent. It's like this guy's name should have been Beauregard. Gosh.
This was made in 2012. I'm actually surprised.
It is kind of crazy. Will Smith, Idris Elba, Chris Tucker, Terrence Howard, who was Rhodey in the first Iron Man movie, Michael Kenneth Williams, and Tyrese Gibson were all considered for the role of Django. Tarantino actually wrote the role with Smith in mind, and Smith's agents and managers wanted him to accept it, but he ultimately decided to pass. He wanted to do a romantic storyline. Oh. It holds the all-time record for the most uses of the N-word in a movie with 116.
I think we're only at like 5 right now, so or more than that. But
Music. Yeah. Just the coloring in like the crispness of the film. Like it's got that old Technicolor look.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tarantino loves movies. Uh-oh. Man's coming in dressed like Superfly.
Coming in hot, is that a fajita? Yeah, that song.
Unfortunately, yeah. 116, man.
I got to hear that live.
I did too. Front row, actually.
Nice.
Andy Mineo, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you had I don't know if to you it was a fortune or misfortune, but to me it was a misfortune.
I loved Mineo at the time. He's not as good anymore to me.
I don't know. I was at a Winter Jam.
I was at a Strength to Stand up in Gatlinburg.
Mm.
It's just kind of ironic that we're now talking about freaking Gatlinburg.
It's
Uh-oh.
over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
It's the Blue Avenger. Mm-hmm. Well, you're darn sure about to.
Wait, about the knot.
Smooth.
You've been hit.
I will
by
say that pistol he
and
just pulled
shot
out
by
had 2 bullets loaded.
a smooth criminal.
But instead he had to go all Indiana Jones on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
See, Django in this movie plays the Old West like I play Red Dead. Fast, loose, and everybody dies. I wonder why this movie's rated R. I'm just curious.
No idea.
Tarantino is really good at writing.
First got hit by Chris Kyle. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean.
Are you sure? Yep. Got him.
I'm positive he did. That's Morgan Freeman's great-great-grandfather, for the record. Django Freeman. I was trying to think of a famous Freeman. He was the only one I could come up with. Mark.
I want to work on your ages. I don't know if that's right. It might actually be close. Might be grandfather. I don't know.
No, it's great. It's at least great.
Dead or alive. Quit yapping, bro.
Sounds like me talking while we're playing Rocket League.
Sounds like you talking.
Dang.
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
Gimme. No. Never. Definitely not.
Wanted dead or alive means we're gonna go shoot him up real quick.
Yeah, because I mean, why would you try to take him back alive? Kill him. It's easier.
Tooth storage. What is this?
And this time,
It's one of our Tombstone clips. Hey, it's Jonah Hill, who was supposed to have a way bigger role in this movie than he did.
Actually, Jonah Hill.
That's actually Jonah Hill. And he was supposed to have a way bigger role in this movie than he does. This might be the funniest scene in any movie I've ever seen. And yes, Grant, this is the group you're thinking it is.
I know.
I'm making sure.
I'm not dumb.
I'm just confirming. Whooping. Then he will have some envy.
I wouldn't know. Jonah Hill just casually taking off a hood.
Willard's wife.
And it's like the middle of the night, too.
So it'd be nice to see.
What they just did it, otherwise known as Ulysses S. Grant's presidency.
Who made these? Willard's wife.
Say what you will about Grant's presidency, but that's one thing he did well was fight these guys.
That's true.
Shoot a horse, ride a cowboy.
I don't know why that scene is so funny, but it is hilarious. I can't see it, dang thing.
It's a well done parody of the group.
Oh yeah. I mean, they deserve no respect.
Yeah.
What's she do?
So this isn't in Florida.
Right. Ooh, the best kind of fire.
Would you like to hear the fun thing from my psychology class today?
Sure. After this story.
Okay.
Just because this story is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Siegfried Freud?
Was he envious?
Nah, Sigmund. Siegfried was his brother. Sigmund was always envious of Siegfried. Because, well, you know, Sigmund was lacking. To be honest, Mississippi isn't a place for anybody to visit.
Yeah.
Yikes. Take it or leave it.
I mean, fair.
So essentially, partner up.
Are they looking for a third for the next RLCS season?
The next Bounty Hunter League season.
RLBS.
As a German.
As an Aryan.
Whoa. Jim Croce is one of my favorite artists of all time.
I heard the first part of the last name and thought there was something else was being said.
No, Jim Croce. Crochet, I think it's Croce, is one of my favorite artists of all time. This Bad Leroy Brown, Operator, You Don't Mess Around with Jim. Like, I love his work. He died in a plane crash at like 30. It's very sad. Who led me down the highway?
In psychology today, we did a thing called there's a thing called the Big Five Project, which has like a personality test you can take.
Yeah, I've taken it.
Guess what percentile I got for the conscientiousness, which is like being organized and disciplined.
I'm guessing 110%.
I was in the bottom 1%.
Ooh.
Which my teacher was like, well, that means you'll probably improve. I'm like, yeah, I literally can't get worse.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the first percentile.
This is an awesome shot.
Oh, it is.
I feel you. That's how I was with throwing the baseball when I got to drive line. There were a couple of things I was in the first. I'm like, ouch. That hurts.
I was like, I would say it's like, I am definitely not like very well organized, but that's definitely like, I'm not that bad.
No, you're much better than I am. If you could see my room right now.
Yikes.
I will say, I think when I took it, I was like 110% a narcissist.
This was something different because this didn't have that.
It wasn't true. I just am making things up. Whoa!
There's our nudity for this. Wonder why this movie's rated R. I'm gonna be there for you. For the record, that song was by Jim Croce. That's why I brought him up.
I figured.
I'm making sure.
I'm just extremely disorganized.
Dang it, now I gotta edit 2 weeks in a row.
Oh no.
You're doing this one.
Look, we have discovered today that if it's up to me, I'm lazy and it's not happening. So
My subtitles had a stroke there. Crazy Craig Coons. That's a name. Sorry, son. Paul got smited.
Hey, freaking dad.
Technically, that ain't his first bounty, but sure.
Now, Grant, that is what we call a homemade refrigerator. I guess I'm confused about the seasons. Because now it's snowing again.
I mean,
Different parts of the world, I guess.
maybe because he was talking about it was be his like deputy for the winter. So
Or maybe it's before winter, yeah. Whoa! Man can shoot the carrot off a snowman. Snowman done been traumatized, and now he's got the envy. Yeah, Grant, I really couldn't tell you why this movie was rated R. See, these are just cool shots. They look old as all get out. And it's awesome.
squirrel.
I think that's a rabbit. Or a gopher. And meaner, probably well. Maybe that is a squirrel. Whatever. No, it's a rabbit. It's definitely a rabbit. You can see the ears. And after a very cold and very
Oh, that's what I'm
tropical-
doing. Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry, I'm also doing something else.
You're not paying attention to the movie? I
I'm
bet you
paying
can't even spell Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI. PP.
Envy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, please tell us if you like this commentary track.
I can answer both of those. Nobody's here, and because nobody is here, nobody likes it.
Yeah, if they were here, they would like it, wouldn't they?
I've seen the analytics, brother. I had one part of one question on my accounting homework that I just Googled to get the answer for, and I feel stupid now.
Fair enough. Candy Lane? Oh, no. Apparently in German.
Polska. Which, yes, is about Poland.
Oh. Whoa. What? Portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson.
Not by Leo.
Oh no, Leo's there too.
I've seen the thing talk about how uncomfortable he was with filming the scene I'm assuming we're about to see.
He's in a lot of this movie. He's the villain. This was his first villain role since let's see, The Man in the Iron Mask in 1998. But he was uncomfortable with how horrible and explicitly racist his character was. However, Quentin Tarantino convinced him to be as menacing as possible, saying that if he didn't take it all the way, people would hold it against him forever.
Give it about 10 years and they're going to hold it against him forever too. So it's kind of a lose-lose.
No, DiCaprio doesn't lose. Whoa!
At least they know I know where France is.
He's a Francophile who doesn't speak French.
Mm-hmm. Does he know where France is?
Probably not.
What's happening over there?
Mandingo fighting. It's horrible.
Never seen that man in my life.
You don't wear a hat. Sweet tea. That's a Southern charm, I thought. You either hit him or are you ain't. That is some real English right there, ladies and gentlemen. Like God wrote it. This is one of the most uncomfortable scenes of any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable scene.
It gets worse.
I know. Don't worry.
This is the half of the movie I've seen. Oh. 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 Mm. Mm. He ain't gonna be in no Django Unchained too.
I wonder why.
Mm. I certainly couldn't tell you. And if I could, I wouldn't.
If you couldn't, you would.
That's exactly it. Django fat. The Django, man.
The Django Fett. By this and like the Fortnite drink for your shield.
Chug jug.
Yeah.
Fortuitous turn of events. Ooh.
You're breathing in the mic.
Tarantino can write some dialogue. German. Who knows? Yikes.
Sign me up.
Do you like this movie?
I do.
Let's go. It's taken a month and a half. Of course. But talent.
What did you just hit?
I just whacked my mic spring. Walton Goggins, ladies and gentlemen.
Might have a way to get my accounting back over 100, which is a fun story.
Ooh. Give it a minute and tell me. That's Walton Goggins right there. That's one of the most charismatic people ever. Anyway, accounting over 100.
So I guess the assignment was technically due Monday. But we had an assignment that was take some type of like a news and apply it to accounting, basically, in just some way. And so apparently the assignment was due Monday. And the thing he sent to us, he said it was due the week of November 6th, which I took as essentially due by Friday. And that's his wife, right? I think.
Maybe. I couldn't tell.
I
wasn't really paying that much attention. Is the thing.
But the due date on Blackboard said the 10th. So apparently it was supposed to be due Monday, but our class is the one that said it was due the 10th. And so he's like, all right, y'all can do it. But he made an extra credit because apparently only like 11 people out of the 80 he has in different classes actually did it. He's like, I'm not giving 70 people zeros. So he made it extra credit.
Fair enough.
So that'll put me back over 100 instead of 99.99. I know.
I love RGB. I'll see you in well.
We're halfway into the movie.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Django. It's a good movie, though. Like, you gotta admit, it's a good movie.
It's long.
It's a movie.
Keep my wife's name.
Out your daggone mouth.
Which is, I don't know if you've actually seen Jada's new book, but that actually adds some really interesting layers to that.
Yeah, because they're not married.
They haven't lived together for like 7 years.
Mm-hmm. It was staged.
If it was staged, he wouldn't have been like banned for like 10 years or whatever it is.
Well, unless the Oscar committee didn't know it was staged and it was just between him and Chris Rock.
Is that you talking?
No. I got two teeth, and I can't open my mouth past here. If you give me some moonshine, I'll be ready to go. I love this movie. Ed Orgeron right here. How many words can I get out without opening my mouth? Let's see. I talk like this all day. You won't mind. Speaking of uncomfortable scenes, the floor here is made out of floor. And Leo DiCaprio should have won an Oscar for this movie.
Somebody come get her. DiCaprio should have won an Oscar for like most of his movies. Mm-hmm. Should have
Like-
also won the Oscar for dating people younger than him.
Well, I mean, there's no competition, Grant. Like,
Yeah.
let's see. What did this win? It won Best Writing, because of course it did, and then it won Best Supporting Actor for Christoph Waltz. It was nominated for Best Picture, because always. Best Sound Editing and Best Cinematography. DiCaprio didn't even get a nod. Samuel L. Jackson won a BET award, though. I was in the middle of saying Samuel L. Jackson won a BET award, which is almost like an Oscar.
I don't know what that is.
BET is a television network.
It's like winning an MTV award.
Mm.
It's cool. Somebody thought you were good in the movie.
Hey, speak of the devil.
Is that Sammy?
What?
Was that Sammy?
That was Sammy. Samuel L. Jackson has been in most of the movies we've seen in recent weeks. It feels like
He's in Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
he was in Pulp Fiction, obviously.
He was a good fella too.
Well, for the 30 seconds he was in that movie before he
Yeah.
got popped. I'm trying to think. He was
So
in another one too,
what did
wasn't
the
he?
guy not like about the music in this and like the placement of the music?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of random. I couldn't tell you. Like, I think I've always thought Tarantino was really good with music.
This is Samuel L. Jackson's kind of movie.
Oh yeah.
I love Samuel L. Jackson with hair. Also, Grant, this is you right now.
I hear looking at duck memories.
Actually, that almost doesn't even kind of look like Samuel L. Jackson.
He's bigger. And it definitely doesn't.
I'm blaming the sideburns, and I think he gained some weight for this. Let's see here. Christoph Waltz dislocated his pelvic bone while training for this part. He alluded to the injury backstage after winning the Golden Globe, stating, quote, "Riding a horse wasn't much of a challenge. Falling off was." You are. The film did not receive a rating from the MPAA until over a week before its wide domestic release. Tarantino, though, I'll give it a second. Anyway, Tarantino decided it was in the best interest of audiences to tone down the film's violence. According to Tarantino, the MPAA gave us an R rating for a rougher version than what I ultimately ended up presenting to the public. I can handle a rougher version of the movie than what exists right now. I have more of a tolerance for it. But I kind of realized that when I watched that version of the movie with audiences, I was traumatizing them too much. It's
Hold
just
on,
that
I would
effing
like
simple.
to.
And I want people to enjoy the movie at the end of it.
I'd like to point out, I think she's too old.
By about 30 years.
She doesn't look 55.
Who is that?
I don't know.
That is Laura Caillouet, who is probably older than she wants to be. She went to the University of South Alabama. I don't know how old she is. I can't figure that out.
Look at his face.
Samuel L. Jackson in this movie is almost as despicable as Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm. So she is now 59.
You found that. I couldn't find that.
I
Yeah,
just
so-
googled her name.
So at 11 years ago, she was 45
Mhm.
or 47, 48. something
Take
like that.
filming, probably about 45 when the movie was filmed.
I wasn't too far off, is all I'm saying.
A decade?
No, like, yeah. Okay. Another thing, the men in hoods organized by Big Daddy represent a group known as the Regulators, the spiritual forebetters of the modern Klan, which was formed later. While filming on location in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Quentin Tarantino rented out a local movie theater to show samurai and Western movies from his own personal collection. Because, of course, he did. Mm.
Broomhilda. Like, I know that doesn't mean Broomhild, but that's like
Yeah. It's a
Von
name.
Shaft.
Yeah, because Broomhilda and Django are meant to be the great great grandparents of Shaft from the movie Shaft in 1971, which was also used by Samuel L. Jackson in describing this film. He called it Shaft on a Horse.
There was talk of splitting this film into 2 parts like Kill Bill, but Tarantino eventually rejected it and cut a whole lot of the planned film. He plans to restore it later because, of course, he does, because he is a snob.
You're breathing in your mic.
Although the film is often considered part of the Western genre, writer and director Quentin Tarantino preferred to refer to the film as a Southern due to the
Film setting in the South.
I love this movie. I give Tarantino a lot of crap, but he makes a lot of good movies. Well,
9.
we'll see how the 10th Wing does. He's yet to miss, at least in my opinion. Okay. Means thank you in French. German. It means thank you in German. German speaking characters speak German.
Mutual friend, eh?
More friendly to some than others. Believe it or not, Christoph Waltz is actually German. Who'd have guessed? Who's also in Inglorious, other word.
Okay, if we're going to review the movie, someone's got to
I don't
say
know
it.
that we are going to review the movie because I don't know that I can say it. We'll see.
If it's in the King James, then
I mean, it's not a terrible word. I just don't feel like saying it unnecessarily.
it is inglorious, though.
She did.
Oh, she did.
No.
Same thing. $116 for the record. This movie has no business being funny.
It's because it's Samuel L. Jackson.
You're not wrong. That's a reference to The Departed. He didn't make it 2 weeks in Boston.
I get an owl over here. Who? Who?
Say who one more time. It's just so uncomfortable. Like that's what this movie's really good at. It can make you laugh. It can also make you really like writhe. Which is why I personally am grateful that Tarantino turned down the violence a little bit. Because gosh. You say it. You can definitely see his performance from Howard Hughes. Like it's got that same sort of voice almost sometimes. Dee, 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 dee. Speaking of uncomfortable. Hmm. Which he just has on hand, by the way.
Of course.
Just a clutch.
He was waiting for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
That glass actually broke and caused his hand to
Mhm.
bleed. Mm.
He's a good salesman.
I mean, he's not wrong. Keep in mind, his hand's not supposed to be bleeding.
I think that's fake blood.
It's not.
There was something about how they had done it with fake blood in the thing.
Well, maybe it is. This hammer is made out of foam. You know why it's made out of foam? Because in rehearsal, it broke and hit him in the face. Really had to throw a dig in there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I would argue they were coerced.
I don't know. I think that's debatable. Why a white cake? Why not black cake or brown cake or? So the first trivia fact has that he smashed the glass and kept going and stayed in
Mhm.
character. At the bottom it says he suggests the idea of smearing blood onto her face, and they both both Tarantino and Kerry Washington, they both like the idea, so Tarantino got some fake blood together and they used that.
Yeah. After I said that, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't like smear real, unless it was
Mhm.
something that like was all in one take, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I was initially thinking it was, but I guess it wasn't.
No.
I thought for a second you were posting, or like you were up in the clip, like when the thing cut. I'm like, what's
Grant trying to do?
Now my phone's trying to die.
Just to get away from you, huh?
Yeah.
Your phone's like, let me die.
I specifically requested it.
It's like the worst. Do 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 do. They ain't got no business.
I definitely have seen the end of this movie. I'm starting to remember it more. Oh.
Who? Alexander Dardenot.
Fun fact, before this movie, the last...
Can I hear the rant first?
Yes. It's true. Ooh. Dang.
So what I was gonna say is the last time DiCaprio played a villain before this was in The Man in the Iron Mask, which is a Dumas book.
Or Dumas book, rather. I think it's just fascinating. It's true. Watch me. Well, ain't this fascinating?
In a second, I will need to pause this to go get my charger to plug my phone in.
You don't think you can make another 30 minutes?
No, because I got the 20% notification about 10 minutes ago and or 15 minutes ago and just got the 10% notification.
Yikes. Fair enough.
Or just whenever we get to like a stopping.
This
like
would be the stopping point. This is the stopping point, Grant.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I just paused it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, it only gets worse.
Okay, just give me a second.
So while he's gone, allow me to read you a long list of his misdoings. Such as he once yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna keep talking. Because of course I am. I don't ever stop talking. If I did, I wouldn't. Because then I wouldn't be a podcaster. Hey, SAG-AFTRA has reached a tentative agreement. And Samuel L. Jackson is great in this movie. You know, perhaps I should just read some trivia facts for you. This film's release was delayed in China by government censors in April of 2013. The request included turning the blood to a darker color or lowering the height of the splatter of blood. Dr. King Schultz partly mirrors the real-life Doc Holliday, also a dentist turned gunfighter. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was cast in a minor role but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts with his directorial debut, Don John. Many of the actors or actresses were playing characters written with them in mind, including among the more sizable roles Christoph Waltz, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Samuel L. Jackson. Denzel Washington was considered for Django, but was deemed too old. In the beginning of the film, where Dr. King Schultz frees Django, one of the slave owners calls one of the slaves Blueberry. This is a reference to the comic Blueberry made by Jean Mobius Giraud and Jean-Michel Charlier. Blueberry takes place during the American Old West, where the main character starts out as a racist, but after he is saved by an African American, he becomes a gunman who fights against all kinds of discrimination. And that's what we're missing from modern day comics, everyone. Franco Nero was considered for the role of Calvin Candy. Franco Nero plays Django in the movie Django. Fun fact. He was instead given a cameo appearance as a minor character. Nero suggested that he played a mysterious horseman who haunts Django in visions and is revealed in an ending flashback to be Django's father. Tarantino opted not to use the idea. Let's see. Well, Russ Tamblyn, whose character in this movie is named Son of a Gunfighter, starred in Son of a Gunfighter in 1965. Also, Tamblyn's real-life daughter, Amber, played the character named Daughter of a Son of a Gunfighter, which is cool. Yeah. Let's see who. So Franco Nero was the owner of the slave that fought against the slave that was owned by Calvin Candy. Nero was the... okay, Grant's going to need to hear this. Let's see. First Western to win the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay since Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and first to win an award for acting in the same category since Unforgiven. This movie, along with True Grit 2010, repeated a rare pattern where 20 years earlier, two westerns, the other being Dances with Wolves, were nominated for Best Picture 2 years apart.
I am back.
Okay, so I have a fun thing to read you before we get started again. By the way, I'm paused at 2:11:20.
I'm at 2:11:19.
So the movie Django in 1966 inspired this movie. It starred Franco Nero as Django. Well, Franco Nero comments or cameos in this movie as the owner of the slave that fought against Candy's slave when we first meet Calvin Candy. You know the one I'm talking about. The screenplay gives the character the name Amerigo Vespucci.
Okay.
After being asked to spell his name, Django explains the D is silent, and Nero replies, "I know," because he played Django. Anyway, you said you're 2:11 what? Talk now. What's your timestamp?
I got it to 2:11:20.
Okay, are we ready? Set.
Yep. I would like to show my war crime real quick.
That is a war crime. We hate you. I had to read trivia facts and say stupid things. 3, 2, 1, go. Which is also what he opened his Oscar line or his Oscar speech with. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Django Wick. Don't shoot him. He's just an innocent lawyer. Which is an oxymoron right there. An innocent lawyer. So China's complaint for this movie, by the way, the reason it got delayed there, other than the fact that it starred a black person, because China's racist, was that the blood was too light colored and there was too much of it. So they asked that he darken the blood. You shot me. I've definitely seen the end of this movie. Jeez. Keep in mind, this is the violent, toned down version.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith passed on this movie because he didn't see Django as being the lead character. Not even kidding. He wanted to be the one to kill the bad guy. Well. This is some period accurate 1858 music right here.
Oh, yeah.
Live look at Grant. See, this movie's not that violent.
No.
It could be worse. Oh. Man, done run out of bullets. Walton Goggins, ladies and gentlemen. Samuel L. Jackson has a fantastic Southern voice. Say it back, Django. Come on, man. Say it back.
What?
She said, I love you. And
He said it. I thought he said it.
He said, hold it.
See, what they don't realize is his gun was empty anyways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make much of a difference to him.
Yeah, I love that one little piece of hair on the top of Samuel L. Jackson's head. Walton Nick Goggins. They kept shooting that one poor guy.
What guy?
That one that's sitting there having been shot 150 times. He was shot up more than Bonnie and Clyde.
I would argue there's not enough of him left to classify him as a person.
You said he might have the envy? Well, you know who doesn't have the envy? This is a good movie. I just wish it was more violent.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins. He's the main villain of Justified. I love that guy. And there's your nudity. Just some nudity. I don't know what the difference between some nudity and nudity is. It's just like, that's just some. He's some naked. This reads like one of those old Brer Rabbit stories, especially with the those we give to the Quentin Dickey Mining Company have it worse than that. Like if you've ever heard of Brer Rabbit in the Briar Patch, he got caught by I want to say Brer Fox, and they were coming up with all different ways to cook him, and he's like, "Oh no, throw me in that! Don't you throw me in that there the Briar Patch," was the way it goes. Until they finally got the idea that they threw him in the Briar Patch, he'd hate it.
Oh, there's Quentin.
And he escapes.
I was waiting until we'd see him in this one.
Yeah, he's always in them. He only made 10 movies, so he's got to pop in them. Oh, I forgot. Crazy Craig comes.
Now that's something.
Remember, he's already killed them. Dr. Martin Luther King Schultz.
Not positive.
Well, he doesn't know what positive means.
They got away with this.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this movie was like beloved. You see why? It's a good movie. That is a goof. Dynamite wasn't invented till like 9 years later by the guy that the Nobel Peace Prize is named after. True story.
Peace?
Alfred
His
Nobel.
name was Peace? That's crazy.
Alfred Nobel invented dynamite and then felt so bad about it that he set up a peace prize.
Dynamite. Singing.
Best way for Quentin to go out blown up. This is his most expensive movie, by the way, $100 million.
Mm.
Or at least was at the time.
And my beneath. Mike Tyson.
Like that. This music, I get what Ennio Marasconi was saying. It is kind of random. Like this, for example. Like it doesn't fit the time. But here again, Morricone won his Oscar for the next movie he did with Tarantino.
Yeah. Like it's dynamite.
Oh. Well, I was vibing to that song. That's cool. This woman was supposed to have more of a backstory. That was one of the things that got cut.
Hmm.
So if it ever gets released, I'm sure we'll see it.
Just please stay in the water.
Hey, we were already through some nudity.
Yeah, but nobody needs to see that.
Oh. He's got the envy. Okay, maybe I haven't seen the end. I think the last I saw of this movie was that scene back there.
Hmm.
It's like a Wyatt Earp's Vendetta ride from Grant's favorite movie, Tombstone.
This is not a real story, right? I'm assuming.
It's not a true story.
I would argue this is better than Tombstone. Actually, I don't even think I would argue. I would say
I
this is
wouldn't
better.
disagree. Like, this is a very good movie. Tombstone is just a classic with audiences because it's so fun and quotable. And a good movie. But, like, this is a better movie.
This one ain't quotable because like half the quotes have the N-word in it.
And the other half, you just can't quote. Denzel Washington was considered for the role of Django, but was too old.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, checks out because Denzel was probably like 60. Uh-oh.
I don't recognize any of these other people, but that's Samuel L. Jackson stumbling on. All right, stop kissing and shoot these people.
Was that the movie? Was that you?
That was you, what are you doing?
I thought that was the movie.
Come on.
On my envy.
The Django. The Silent Hillbilly.
I don't think that's realistic.
Woo! She gone.
Oh, there we go.
What do you mean, there we go?
The mother trucker.
Oh, he said that plenty of times.
I don't know, but it's still fitting.
Uh-huh.
It looks like Cam Newton up in here. I want to see Django 2. Divorce. Look, honey, I know you saved me from the slavers and like killed 500,000 people. I just can't do this no more. Django 2. Women. Keep in mind, that's Jamie Foxx's actual horse.
Which is probably not the worst to do that.
Uh-huh. Or maybe the pre-atomic bomb. No horses were harmed in the making of this movie.
When he blew up the house here and went, "Are you not entertained?"
Oh. Russ Tamblyn is son of a gunfighter, and Amber Tamblyn is daughter of a son of a gunfighter. Bruce Stern. Jonah Hill is Baghead number 2. Yeah, Zoe Bell was supposed to have a bigger role. Quentin Tarantino. I'm assuming you're watching the credits too. All right,
Totally.
Now I'm stopping. All right. So that's a good movie. How good of a movie? You'll have to wait to see until right after these brief messages. Goodbye, Grant. Hi, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be reviewing Django Unchained from 2012 as part of our Quentin Tarantino month. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, and 2 hours, 52 minutes, 55 seconds into this recording, I would like to bring up my estranged Django to my Dr. King Schultz. It is Grant Skillen. How are you doing, Grant?
I don't know what he's talking about either, y'all.
Dr. King, what?
You're weird.
I called you my sidekick.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we just watched Django. Grant, I'm guessing this is your first time having seen Django.
I think that was pretty obvious to you and to the people in the watch party, but yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it. Actually, move my mic. I like it. It's definitely of the whopping, what is it now, 2 Tarantino movies I've
Yeah.
seen. It's my favorite.
Because you didn't like the story of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Although I gave a raving review of Pulp Fiction last week. Yeah. No, I did like. For everyone who missed that and wants to get mad at me again, Pulp Fiction, I thought the story was just too out of order and too, I don't know,
Jarring.
shallow.
Okay.
What can I say?
Well, if anybody tuned in to watch, what can Grant say?
Apparently nothing, because everything I say gets censored. But yeah,
It's true.
this is a very good movie. There's a lot of stuff I would love to quote from this movie that are hilarious lines, but I am unable to for a very obvious reason.
He's white.
Yes. I mean, yes. But no, it's a hilarious movie. Samuel L. Jackson, once he shows up, is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into some of the stuff with Leo and his uncomfortableness with some of the scenes, but he does a very good job. I mean, everyone in the movie does a good job.
I like the line where or where King Schultz is aiming the rifle at the fleeing Ellis Brittle. You sure that's him? Django, yeah. Positive? I don't know. You don't know if you're positive? I don't know what positive means. It means you're sure. Yes. Yes, what? Yes, I'm sure that's Elvis Brittle. Schultz shoots Brittle off his horse. I'm positive he dead.
Yeah, I think he bit the dust a little bit.
Just maybe a little bit. This movie, for the record, has an 87-92 split. Critics don't like it as much as audiences, which I think is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It's a love letter to old westerns. Like if you've ever seen any of the Man with No Name trilogy, or I'm trying to think, Once Upon a Time in the West, that kind of thing. This fits right in. Maybe a few more expletives, a little more racism than some of them, but it fits right in. Like they even got Ennio Morricone to come back and do the score. He was none too happy about that. But yeah, like it fits in. It's a good old Western as long as you're okay with probably about 100 F-bombs and 116 uses of the N-word. So it's a good one to show your racist granddad. But
Mm-hmm.
no,
no, it's a very good movie. And as Grant knows, and as I'm sure if you've watched our other reviews of westerns, as you will probably know,
the one.
Well, I'm also talking about. I mean, technically, it's the one because it's the one twice, but westerns. I'll just put it have not been my favorite genre as we've been reviewing, and I've gave some opinions that have been very not well received by Grant, by you all, by my mother. So, yeah.
So you were surprised to like this movie?
Yeah, I was. I actually I really did enjoy this movie.
I'm glad.
Without any like but this. Like I enjoyed the movie.
I'm very glad, because I know when we talked last week and I said, hey, we're doing Tarantino. We're going to start off with Pulp Fiction. You're going to choose a Western. We're going to do Kill Bill. And I said we were going to do Inglourious, but now I'm thinking we might do Jackie Brown instead, because I really don't want to say the second word of Inglourious. But when I said that, you're like, do we have to do a Western?
Yeah.
Like, you don't like Westerns? He's like, well, I didn't like Tombstone. And I'm like, have you seen other Westerns? And you're like,
I'm sure I have at some point in my life, but I've never consciously been like, oh, I want to go watch a Western. Like,
so, and I'm like, all right, you're picking a Western. And
essentially, yeah. So what I did is I looked. I forget the name of the other one. But,
the Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. I literally just looked them up on IMDb and went, same length. Django's got a higher rating. We'll go with that.
Yeah, Hateful Eight was a weird movie. I really like it. It's a film that takes place almost entirely in one room. Like, there are flashbacks that happen around the room, but it's mostly one room. It's like the cheapest movie you've ever seen, so they spent a ton of money on the cast.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Django, I think, is probably better for our purposes.
I mean, I would argue it is. It's just by the fact that I actually liked it. So
yeah, this is the first movie in 6 weeks now that we've been doing like more, I guess, R-rated movies and that sort of thing that you've like enjoyed.
No, because I enjoyed. I'm forgetting what we've reviewed. Hold on.
The Aviator, Hugo, Goodfellas, and The Departed.
I like The Aviator.
Okay.
Hugo is one where I'm like, it's cool. I don't know that it's necessarily for me. Same with the others. Like, I could see the appeal.
It's like Paul Rudd. You get the appeal. You wouldn't take it away from anybody, but you also wouldn't stand in line for it.
Yeah, but I did genuinely enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So do you like Tarantino's movies more than you did Scorsese's thus far?
It's hard to judge because I'm kind of like Pulp Fiction was good. The story, like I said,
Yeah.
which I need to actually make that short.
That TikTok, I gotta actually edit that.
Yeah, but yeah.
No, I mean, fair enough. The reason I ask is because those two directors have diametrically opposed philosophies. Scorsese's in his 80s and is still making movies, and it plans to make at least 2 more before he retires. Tarantino said from like the first one, he's only making 10 because he thinks directors start to suck after their 10th film.
Which I think says a lot about Tarantino, but
he's a snob. Like, he is straight up a snob.
But this is a very good movie for sure. I don't think I said anything this time that needs to be cut out, or did I?
You did like 5 minutes, 55 seconds in.
Oh no. Anyways,
yeah, or 55 minutes and 55 seconds. It was like perfectly a palindrome.
Nice. But yeah, no, this is a good movie. I've been saying that, like I said, there's fantastic quotes. I just can't say most of them, either because we don't swear, we keep it family friendly in that regard, or yeah, or as I mentioned,
the N-word.
Look at me. It's all I've got to say.
I love one of the scenes I love is the one with all the bag heads. I can't quote most of it, but they're all standing around with these bags over their heads with the eyes cut out. They're like, I can't see crap.
Yeah, they're talking about how they can't see out of the pillowcases.
And you get this line, who made this daggone crap? Willard's wife. And Willard goes, well, make your own daggone mask. And Big Daddy, look, nobody's saying they don't appreciate what Jenny did. Well, if all I had to do was cut a hole in the bag, I could have cut it better than this.
Yeah, the banter about the choice of attire was very well done.
It was like 7 minutes. Jonah Hill was in it for some freaking reason.
Yes.
It's like 7 minutes of Baghead.
It kind of like that was the dinner scene. Leo had a very hard time actually filming it because of just the way the scene was.
The N-word and how
And Samuel L. Jackson pulled him aside, telling him, "Mother, this is just another Tuesday for us."
Fair enough. I like Samuel L. Jackson. I really like him in these movies. And that's one of the reasons I want to do Jackie Brown instead of Inglourious, because I don't believe Samuel L. Jackson's in Inglourious, but I know he's in Jackie Brown, and he has like a weird ponytail thing. And it looks hilarious because it's Samuel L. Jackson in a ponytail. But like, he's just really good in these movies. And Quentin Tarantino is fantastic at writing dialogue. Like, really fantastic at writing dialogue.
He definitely is.
Like, he must hear the voices.
I can hear every voice inside your head.
I also like the one where they're going to get the brothers, the first bounty, and Django's hanging out with Bettina, and she goes, "What you do for your master?" And Django goes, "Didn't you hear him tell you I ain't no slave?" Bettina goes, "So you really free?" And Django goes, "Yeah, I is free." And Bettina goes, "So you want to dress like that?" As he's sitting there looking like a popsicle. Oh.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Gosh.
See if I can I'll quote this as well as I can. It's funny at the end when he's about to kill Steven. He goes, "I count 6 shots." There's an extra word there, but I count 6 shots. Pulls out a second revolver. "I count 2 guns." Yeah.
Oh.
Then when it's I like the way you beg, boy, and then he kills gets Big John Brittle, and he goes, I like the way you die, boy.
I like that too. I like the scene between King Schultz and Mowgli early on, and where King Schultz goes, "Now, anything else about Mr. Candy I should know before I meet him?" Yes, he is a bit of a francophile. Ha! What civilized people aren't. And he prefers Monsieur Candy. And he prefers Monsieur Candy to Mr. Candy. Si c'est celui qui préfère, which means whatever he prefers. And then Mowgli goes, he doesn't speak French. Don't speak French to him. It will embarrass him.
Yeah, and our casual. I guess that's funny is the IMDb when spoiler alert shoots Lara, Miss Lara. The IMDb quote says, "Bye, Miss Lara," and then brackets quickly shoots Miss Lara, who's comically blown away into another room.
She was comically blown away into another room. Like
it's like you could hardly make an argument that if you shoot her head on with that she flies back like that. Never mind the like downward angle where you're hitting me, you would be hitting me like this, that I just fly backwards.
It reminds me, and Grant, you may remember this. So a little bit ago, probably about a month and a half now, my girlfriend was going to go to a gun range with some friends, and I was doing research on this gun range because, well, I've shot guns before. I know that, you know, if you're going to shoot guns, you do it in a safe spot. I was doing research on this particular gun range, and about 10 years ago, an old church woman who had never shot a gun before was leading a group of church people to a self-defense at this gun range where she's handed a Colt 45 having never shot a gun. She's like a 35-year-old woman. She's not that old. She shoots it and it recoils so much she pulls the trigger again and shoots one of them in the head. It looked like about that. It was about how much you would fly back if you'd never shot a gun before and it recoiled like mad on you. Instead, she got shot head on and it caused problems. I gotta text my roommate. Give me a second. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay. Well, they're still gonna hear about
it. So you actually mentioned this, but no,
what did I actually mention, Grant?
The dynamite. Dynamite was actually not invented until 1867 by good old Alfred Nobel.
Nobel. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, the Nobel.
It's called the Nobel Peace Prize because after the dynamite goes off, they're in pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stupid jokes with Grant.
Oh, stupid jokes with Grant and Grant. Woo.
Is his name just Christoph Waltz?
Christoph Waltz.
Okay, I thought it was. I saw the Christoph. I'm like, is this cut off? Like it was.
I kept reading it that way too, but it's Christoph Waltz.
I gotta find.
It's German, believe it or not.
Yeah. So you said during the episode you're actually wrong. It wasn't the beginning of his Oscar speech. It was the end of his Oscar speech. Ended with "Sorry, couldn't resist." Which is a reference to the line his character says, which is, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, before he gets blown the crap.
After he shoots Leonardo DiCaprio in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So apparently Jonah Hill's bigger role was supposed to be playing a character named Scotty Harmony, who's the son of Southern slave buyers who would purchase Broomhilda to become his concubine.
So I guess the question there is, if Jonah Hill is that character, does Calvin Candy exist at all? I liked the original idea behind Calvin Candy. They were originally thinking about giving it to the guy that played Django originally, whose name I'm forgetting, but played Django in the 60s movie, who instead ended up being that slaver that was dueling with Calvin. But there was also an interesting idea that guy tossed out when he was given the cameo, and that was that he played this horseman that haunted Django the whole movie, in his dreams and turned out to be Django's father.
You are the father.
And that guy was very white.
And that guy was Samuel L. Jackson. No, I'm kidding.
Very white. There are jokes to be made there if you know me, but that guy was very white.
Interesting. Yeah, you made a reference to this, but I think a decent amount of people know that Leo actually cut his hand on the glass during the dinner scene.
Yeah.
But you mentioned also the hammer. The hammer that he has, I think, earlier in that same dinner scene.
A little bit later when he's
Is it
selling
later?
when he's trying to whack her over the head with the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer that they used for filming was made of foam because earlier during filming, one of the hammers broke and hit him in the head.
Imagine that. You're just like, wham, bounce, boing, comical fall.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson once described this movie in an interview as Shaft on a horse. I'll let you use your imagination for that one.
Do you know what Shaft is?
No. I can tell it's a movie.
It's a blaxploitation film about Shaft, who's like a black hero at the time. It's a pretty good movie, actually. The characters here, Django and Brunhilde, are meant to be Shaft's great grandparents, I believe.
Interesting.
It's a retcon. It's Tarantino being a star.
I'm just making a stupid joke is all I'm doing.
Oh, I know you and your envy, man.
Yeah. Wait, my what?
Envy.
Oh, yeah.
Sigmund Freud, everybody. Look it up. Also, that was a running gag during that episode.
Yeah. This is actually not the first time that Jamie Foxx and Kerry Washington have been a married couple in a movie.
That was Ray, right?
Yeah.
Ray.
Star Wars.
Ray. What's it? Charles?
The movie is just called Ray.
No, but like the character, the guy, Ray Charles and his wife, whose name I'm forgetting.
I just saw it, but I backed out.
That's a true story.
Hold on, I went.
Sorry, I totally saw that earlier and wanted to see like a film. Now, Kerry Washington.
Della B. Robinson.
I'm trying to figure out if Kerry Washington is who I think she is.
I don't know who you think she is.
I was thinking she was related to Denzel, but she's not related to Denzel. Who is Denzel's wife? Because I was thinking she was Denzel's wife, but I'm wrong. Like, they're not related at all, which makes sense. Denzel was originally considered for the role of Django.
His wife's name is Pauletta Pearson, who does not appear to have a Wikipedia page. Ellie, did I say Wikipedia?
You did say Wikipedia like a Rocket League nerd.
Oops. Wikipedia.
Yeah, I thought, I don't know why I was thinking that she was somehow related. I couldn't remember. I was thinking, I guess, kid, but then that doesn't make sense either because Denzel was considered to play Django and that'd be real.
Yeah, I don't know. You're just special.
Yeah, I am special. At least I don't have a gnome named George in my background.
Do you want to get Grant Jr. out too?
Oh no. For those of you who don't know, Grant has starved a puppy and keeps him waiting to pop out from behind a corner. Just for those of you who aren't aware. And while Grant's gone, I can say bad things about him. Now he's back. I can't say more bad things about him.
What crap are you spewing now?
I was just talking about your starving beagle puppy.
This is...
You can see the resemblance. That's the TikTok for this week.
Yeah. Yeah, he can...
He and George are just chilling.
Yeah. I won't prop him up on George.
This is Grant Jr. right now.
Literally.
Oh.
This is the fifth time that Quentin Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson collaborated.
Which at the time... Okay, Tarantino's only done 9 films. I'm gonna see if I can name them because it's Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, this one. Was he in Inglourious?
No, I looked that up earlier.
He ended up in The Hateful Eight, so he's been in at least 6 of them. Are you 100% sure he wasn't in Inglourious? Because I could have sworn he had some sort of cameo.
It's possible he had a cameo, but at least looking at the cast list, it didn't have his name on there. He narrates the film. Why is that not?
He narrates the film.
Why is that not on like?
That's a good question. I knew he had something to do with it.
So I guess, yeah. But like in the star, even on like Wikipedia, I'll say it right this time. Even on Wikipedia, it doesn't show him like in the starring.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good movie though. But so anyway, so we've got Inglourious. I'm trying to think. What else? What would be the other one? Oh, he was in Kill Bill. Kill Bill 1, I believe. I don't think he was in 2. Yeah. So every movie Tarantino's made, with the exception of his first one, I believe Samuel L. Jackson's been in. He is the Robert De Niro of Tarantino movies.
He's the Robert De Niro to brain fart.
I don't know, man. To Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, I almost said my old English professor's name.
That's really weird, man.
Yeah,
Was he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? That's the real question.
Sam?
Oh, he was absent in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was not in it, which is weird because I think that's the only one he hasn't been in that is like a major mainline Tarantino. Because Tarantino says he's only making 9 movies or 10 movies, but he's done a few that like don't count, and then a few that weirdly count.
Well, yeah, like when you look on his IMDb, he's got like as a writer, he's got like 40 movies.
Yeah, he writes movies or he produces movies, and sometimes he directs movies. But unless he does all 3, he doesn't count it, from what I can tell. Like, okay. He's like, I'm only making 10 movies, except for these other 50 I've made.
Yeah.
But I didn't really make them. I just kind of made them.
Like, he's got 29 writing credits, 24 producing. He's got 23 director's credits.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Freaking liar.
I don't understand how he counts them. To be fair, 2 of those are one movie, and that's the Kill Bill. Like, they're considered... Because, once again, Tarantino... is kind of strange. He kind of lies to himself a lot, and I say this as somebody who greatly admires his work. For example, he considers Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as one movie. Why does he consider them one movie? So he can make another movie without proving himself to be a liar. But he did. I'm trying to find
being a hypocrite.
Exactly, and I'm trying to find his.
Oh, he was born in Knoxville. That explains it.
Yeah, he was. We talked about that last week. So he directed an episode of CSI. 2 episodes of CSI.
He also had a director's credit from Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yeah, I don't know that I would count that. So he Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Hateful Eight, Django Unchained, Inglourious, Death Proof, which I've never seen, and I think is a short one. Did Grindhouse
2 hours long.
There's Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, which is the cut of the 2. There's the 2 CSI episodes. He was a special guest director on Sin City, which is really weird. 4 Rooms, ER. He directed an episode.
I guess it is actually because there's like 3 different versions of Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is fantastic, by the way. It's not quite as well loved as it should be. But like it's mostly right. But even if we count the ones that like He's got a TV series he's doing based around Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then he's got The Movie Critic, which he's doing, which I don't know how I feel about him doing a movie that's actually a biopic about a movie critic. Like, I feel like that would just kind of suck.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what more we have to say on
I
that.
don't
We've
either.
gotten off the rails. I don't know what more we have to say about
This has been the
movie.
longest review we've done in a while. It's been like
Mhm.
25 minutes. Grant, pass or fail?
Fail. Pass.
I agreed. I love this movie. Would you watch it again?
Yeah. I don't like. Would I? Yes, but I also like. I don't just go, oh, I want to rewatch this movie. Like that's not something I do, but like, yeah, I'd watch it again.
Fair enough. I do it. I wouldn't do it with this one in particular. Like I rewatch movies that I find comforting.
The only thing to me is it's a little too violent, but I can also just look away when they're putting 50 bullets in a guy and then look back after. So
and, see, the thing to me is it isn't comforting. Like it is a very uncomfortable movie. So I like it a lot. I've seen it 3 times now. I've shown it to my dad. I've shown it to you. And that's how I rewatch movies like this. I show them to people. I can't sit down and go, all right, I'm watching Django again tonight. Like that just, if you can, it makes you kind of weird. And you might want to check in and make sure you're not racist.
Yeah. Well, I just mean in general. Like I just don't.
No, I agree.
Sit down and rewatch movies. So.
There are like there's like 2 movies I will watch over and over again. And one of those is Before Sunrise, which is my all-time favorite movie.
And your mom.
And The Aviator, actually, are the 2 I've sat down and rewatched a lot. The rest of them, like, I'll rewatch occasionally. Like, if I just want to, but, like, very rarely. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, and I really hope you have, because we put a lot of effort into tonight, you can pay us at patreon.com/theculturenerd. We really appreciate that. You can pay us. You can pay any of the other shows. You can do all kinds of stuff. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep the lights on, or in my case, off. It really helps pay the electricity bill for my computer. And it helps keep all this wonderful software running so we can watch really great movies such as Django Unchained. As always, I've been your host, Grant Ingram.
And I have been your co-host, Grant Skillen. Thank you to each of our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Jose for the logo and Taylor for the intro.
And thank you, the viewer. None of this happens without you. If nobody watches these, Grant tries to kill me. But if you've enjoyed this, in addition to paying us, or if you'd rather not pay us, you can just leave a like and subscribe. That really does help us out. We're trying to reach a bunch of subscribers. Tell your friends about us, because your friends would want to know. And if you don't, you're a bad friend. If you want to see more of The Cultured Nerd, you can scan that QR code there on the left. And if you want to see more of Much Talk About Nothing, which is our other show with some fun stuff coming up maybe eventually sometime soon, and fun stuff in the past for sure, you can scan that QR code there on the right. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and tune in next week when we talk one of the other Tarantino movies to be determined.
One of the 2 others.
Oh, there are plenty others. See you then.